Okay, so now we're going to move on to some stretching. I have to admit I'm not a big fan of stretching, and the reason for that is because done correctly, strength training exercises will improve your flexibility. Most people have this notion that strength training actually tightens the muscles up and makes them stiff and unpliable, and you get this muscle-bound type physique. That's really not the case if you're doing it properly. You know, stretching is, I like to put it as that stretching is something you need to do if you have problems with flexibility to begin with that are not going to be fixed by traditional strength training. What I mean by that is if you have some sort of hip issue or low back issue where the muscles have seized up on you and then you have to improve that, well, yeah, stretching is really important in that case. But for maintenance, for improving flexibility and mobility, you know, you can get away with stretching just by doing your strength training programs, because when you strength train, you actually take the muscle through its full range of motion. Again, this is done correctly. Most people don't actually do that. For instance, bench press exercise, most of us guys are really bad at this. You load up the bar with a ton of weight, you lift it off, and you only bring it down partial, part way, press it back up because you can lift more weight that way, right? So it makes you look tougher. Problem is, when you only bring the weight down halfway, your shoulder muscle is missing 50% of its mobility. So what happens is the muscle actually shortens into that range of motion. Done correctly, in a bench press, brought all the way down to the chest, will stretch out the shoulder muscles more than resting length. And again, what that means is just your strength training exercise has just increased your flexibility. So again, I'm blabbering, but basically what I want to say is this, that stretching doesn't have to be this long drawn out affair. You don't have to spend 20, 30 minutes stretching. If you want to maintain, strength training is enough. But what we're going to do here is I'm going to show you 3 basic stretches that you'll probably continue throughout the rest of the year, just because they're really good at covering nearly every muscle that needs to be stretched. You know, a lot of muscles actually don't need to be stretched. That's another story, but basically we're going to stick to the ones that really need. We're going to start with what's called a hip flexor stretch. Now, what I do here is I just get you to kneel down on the floor. One knee goes down, the other knee's up. Now, from this position here, try and keep your hips straight forward, so you're kind of angled that direction there. Kick your foot out just a little bit in front. Again, this knee's down, and then what you're going to do is just push your hips forward a bit. You should start feeling a big time stretch in the lower leg in your thigh here. That's what you're looking for, but that's only part 1. So bring your hips forward, get the stretch through here somewhere. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take your right side arm, it goes up, and you're going to also rotate that way to a little bit. So forward, arm up, and then rotate. And then what this does is going to stretch all through here. So you're stretching this entire side of your body. So I'm going to shut up for a minute here and just show you exactly what I'm talking about. On your knee, go forward, arm goes over, and then you twist and hold that there. You should feel that anywhere through this entire side. Same thing on the opposite side. Other knee goes down, other knee goes up, stretch forward, feel a stretch here now. So now my arm goes up, I get the stretch here, and now I rotate, and I'm getting this all throughout this side. Pay attention to your program guide for the exact times that you should be stretching and how many sets. Okay, so the next stretch is a seated lumbar rotation. So most people have very inflexible lower backs. I'm one of them. So this is a stretch I do quite often. So you're just going to sit yourself on the floor. Now what you're going to do is put one leg straight out, flip the other leg over top of it like that. Then you're going to twist. And I use my elbow into my knee for support and also to push off a little bit. And I'm just rotating. Try and relax your breath. It's hard to do when you're doing this stretch because you're tightening your diaphragm. So just try and relax your breath. Let the breathing calm down and then just rotate slightly and hold there. Now to do the opposite side, this leg goes down, this leg goes over, and hopefully my mic doesn't crinkle too much here. Elbow into the knee, using this other arm on the floor to kind of twist. And so for me, my hips are tight, my lower back's tight. I feel this in through here. You will feel this anywhere between about mid-shin all the way up the thigh, in your butt, lower back, and anywhere through your upper back as well. Also, when you put this elbow into the knee, you might feel this in the back of your shoulder blade. So we're kind of hitting a whole bunch of different areas here. Again, one of those stretches where we're just trying to cover as many places as possible. I should shut up as I stretch. And just like that. Again, don't pay attention to how long I'm stretching. It's just demonstration. you want to refer to your program guide for exactly how long you want to stretch. And that's your seated lumbar rotation. Okay, so for the last stretch here, we're just doing a chest stretch, an arm hang type stretch. Now, there's a couple different ways we can do this. Again, because you probably don't have a squat cage in your house, or maybe even not in your gym, you can use a doorway for this. And all you're going to do is grab either side of the door, slide your hands up, and then all you're going to do is step forward and hold that right there. Now this, you'll know immediately when you've got the stretch right, because you're going to feel it anywhere from your wrist into your chest, even into your abdominal muscles. So we're kind of hitting a whole bunch of areas again here. Arms up high on the door jamb, step forward through the door or through this cage like I'm doing here. And then you can also lean back. You see, I push my stomach and chest out a little bit, and all that's going to do is actually increase the stretch in the abdominal muscles and makes it a little bit more effective. So stretching again. For me, my chest is really tight, so I feel it most in through the shoulder, armpit area, chest. And again, depending on where you are most inflexible, that will be where you feel it. So anywhere from both the hips up into the arms, out into the wrists, and you're doing it right.